Golden Bachelorette. Was Charles Ling shocked by elimination? October 10, 2024. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Bachelor Nation News. Golden Bachelorette fans were heartbroken when Charles Ling did not receive a rose on Wednesday night. He has quickly become a fan favorite in Bachelor Nation. In fact, Jess Palmer has even deemed him a national treasure. After going home on the last episode, he is speaking for the first time and revealing if he was shocked that Joan sent him home. Keep reading to find out what he had to say. Was Charles Ling shocked Joan Vassos sent him home? Golden Bachelorette fan favorite Charles Ling was sent home on Wednesday night at the rose ceremony. He was one of 4 men to leave the show this week. While some may have been shocked by his departure, was he shocked as well? Ling appeared on Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, where he opened up about whether or not he was caught off guard by his elimination. He said he was not. Charles went on to share his thoughts. He said, "I sensed it. I have the data. Why? Because I look around and I sensed." He continued explaining more by saying he really felt if he didn't go home Wednesday night, he would have the next week for sure. He added, "I kind of sensed I'm not one of the few final ones." While he wasn't the one for Joan, Ling is thankful for his experience on the show. He left with a different kind of love. Charles has friendships that will last a lifetime. On Thursday, Charles Ling went to Instagram to share more thoughts about leaving. He shared some photos and said, "It was such a life-changing opportunity for me. It was such a great journey, but there are surprises during any journey in your life. I wish Joan all the best, and I also wish my fellow cast members all the best in their new beginnings." He revealed how the men do not compete with each other. Charles Ling also talked about the friendships he formed while on the Golden Bachelorette. He says the men didn't really compete against one another while dating Joan Vassos. All of them know that Joan will only choose one, and he believes they will all be happy with whomever she chooses. Ling added, "We like each other, but as you know, like each other is one thing. To love each other is another thing. I'm happy for Joan. She continues her journey to find the best one she really loves." Charles credits the men on the season also with helping him move on from the sadness of losing his wife. They told him they know it's sad, but it's okay to move on when opportunity knocks at the door. Everyone will miss seeing Charles on their television screens every week. He has found a special place in Bachelor Nation's hearts. What do you think about Charles going home? Were you sad to see him go? Stay tuned for more updates. In this episode, we're diving into one of the most heart-wrenching moments in the Golden Bachelorette. Fan favorite Charles Ling, who quickly captured the hearts of viewers and even earned the title of a national treasure from Jess Palmer, has now been sent home. Yes, you heard that right. Charles Ling did not receive a rose on Wednesday night, much to the shock of Bachelor Nation. But was Charles himself surprised by his elimination? Today, we'll look at what Charles had to say after leaving the show, his thoughts on Joan Vassos' decision, and the lasting friendships he made during his journey. Let's get into the details of what happened and what's next for Charles Ling. Keep watching to find out all the inside scoop. Was Charles Ling shocked Joan Vassos sent him home? For fans of the Golden Bachelorette, Charles Ling's elimination came as a big blow. He was one of 4 men sent home during this week's rose ceremony, leaving fans reeling. Charles had built a reputation as not only a standout suitor, but someone who had a calm, kind presence. Fans loved him for his easygoing nature, sharp intellect, and sincere intentions. Some of you may have thought Charles was a shoo-in for the final rounds, but was Charles himself surprised by his elimination? In a recent interview on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, Charles opened up about how he really felt after being sent home by Joan. And interestingly enough, he wasn't caught off guard. He said, and I quote, "I sensed it. I have the data. Why? Because I look around and I sensed." Charles explained further, sharing that while he remained hopeful, he had a strong feeling that his time on the show was coming to an end. He even admitted that if he hadn't gone home that Wednesday night, he was almost certain he would have been eliminated the following week. He added, "I kind of sensed I'm not one of the few final ones." Charles Ling is nothing if not pragmatic, and this insight into his thought process shows just how self-aware he was throughout the competition. But despite this, his departure still hit hard for many fans. After all, Charles brought a sense of grounded maturity and emotional depth to the show, which resonated deeply with viewers. Ling's reflections: finding love and lifelong friendships. Now, while Charles didn't win Joan's heart, he didn't walk away empty-handed. In fact, Charles left the show with something even more enduring: a new outlook on life and lifelong friendships. On Thursday, Charles took to Instagram to reflect on his time on the Golden Bachelorette, sharing some heartfelt photos from his journey. Alongside the pictures, he posted a touching message. "It was such a life-changing opportunity for me. It was such a great journey, but there are surprises during any journey in your life. I wish Joan all the best, and I also wish my fellow cast members all the best in their new beginnings." It's clear that Charles Ling is walking away from this experience with grace and gratitude. His positive perspective is something fans have always admired about him. And while his romance with Joan didn't blossom, his time on the show was transformative in many ways. The brotherhood: no competition among the men. One thing that stands out about Charles Ling's journey is the camaraderie between the men on the Golden Bachelorette. Unlike traditional seasons of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, where competition can create tension, this season seemed to foster genuine friendships among the men. Charles spoke candidly about the bond he formed with the other contestants during his time on the show. He shared that there wasn't really any sense of rivalry between the men while dating Joan. Charles said, "We all know that Joan will only choose one, and we'll all be happy with whomever she chooses." This sentiment really speaks to the unique dynamic of the Golden Bachelorette. The men weren't just there to win Joan's heart, they were there to support each other on their individual journeys. Charles went on to say, "We like each other, but as you know, liking each other is one thing. To love each other is another thing. I'm happy for Joan as she continues her journey to find the best one she really loves." Charles Ling's personal growth: moving on from heartache. Another poignant part of Charles Ling's story is how his time on the Golden Bachelorette helped him heal from a personal tragedy. As many fans know, Charles lost his wife several years ago, and the grief has been a significant part of his life. However, through his time on the show and the friendships he formed, he's found solace and support in moving forward. He credits his fellow contestants for helping him navigate these emotions. They told him, "We know it's sad, but it's okay to move on when opportunity knocks at the door." For Charles, the Golden Bachelorette was more than just a dating show. It was an opportunity to heal, grow, and embrace new beginnings. And while he may not have found romantic love with Joan, he's leaving with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism for the future. What's next for Charles Ling? While we won't be seeing Charles on the Golden Bachelorette anymore, that doesn't mean we've seen the last of him. Charles has found a special place in the hearts of Bachelor Nation, and fans are eager to see what the future holds for him. Whether it's through more interviews, appearances on Bachelor Nation podcasts, or perhaps even a return to our screens in a future spin-off, Charles Ling is sure to remain a beloved figure in the Bachelor world. But for now, Charles is taking some time to reflect on his journey, embrace the friendships he's made, and focus on what comes next. And knowing Charles, whatever that is, it's sure to be something special. Final thoughts: saying goodbye to a fan favorite. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to know, what did you think about Charles Ling going home? Were you as sad as I was to see him leave? Do you think Joan made the right decision, or do you wish Charles had made it to the final rounds? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Bachelor Nation News for all the latest updates from the Golden Bachelorette and beyond. Thanks for tuning in, And until next time, Bachelor Nation, take care and stay golden.